Hey guys, what it do? It's your boy Supreme Uchiha, the God, and we're talking about One Piece, and we got a One Piece theory for you guys. Um, and well, we're gonna be reading it together, and we're gonna find out what it is and what it's about. So it's basically what is the One Piece, and this person here basically says that it's sake, but it's also more than that. Um, which is kind of weird and interesting. So I want to read it and see. We're gonna rate it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna rate theories these days. We're gonna rate it and see if we like it. If we do we agree? Do we disagree? All right. So One Piece is in fact Joy Boy's treasure. I mean, we knew that already. So I'm just gonna skip kind of the parts that we already aware of. For Sanji, his knives and hands. Zoro, his swords. Nami, her tangerines, etc., etc. It's basically talking about people's personal treasures, and obviously Luffy, his straw hat. So what is Joy Boy's treasure? What is the One Piece? It has to be something he valued more than anything. Remember, it's probably laughter. Laugh tale is the name of the thing. So I think it's something to do with that. It's joy, right? But it's only meant for a certain person, which is Luffy. We laughed as well to the point where tears started pouring out of our eyes. Joy Boy, I really wish I had been born at the same era as you. So he just got there too early. So it probably doesn't activate without Luffy. So maybe anybody can attain it, but it doesn't activate without Luffy or without Joy Boy. So Joy Boy, you left such an unbelievable treasure. What a funny story. According to this, Joy Boy's treasure is a funny story. So One Piece is Joy Boy's story, the story of the Void Century. Many fans actually speculate, and remember, Riley said that he knows the story of the Void Century because of them discovering the One Piece. Many fans actually speculated this due to this sentence, but no. If One Piece is his story, then what would be the point of Rio Poneglyph, 9 poneglyphs that tell the story of the Void Century? Maybe One Piece is the final missing poneglyph of the poneglyph. No, it would be meh if that was the case. So what is it? First, One Piece is Japanese, written as whatever Hito Tsunagi no Daihi no Hiho, and it has three meanings: great hidden treasure in one piece, sea at peace, something that connects people, a rope that connects people. So like the string of fate and stuff. One Piece is something that connects people. So it's sake, which Arthur said was the One Piece. No, there was something even greater. It is a rope. But what is the rope in One Piece? And there's a rope right here, tied, and it connects. And now obviously the rope can be seen as the rope for ship, but this is not a necessary addition to the design here in the logo. So that's just interesting. Okay, let me explain the meaning of the One Piece logo, which was designed by Oda himself. It represents the Grand Line surrounded by calm belt, zero, with skull in it. Okay, with crossed X represents reverse mountain. NEP is paradise, and red I belts. Notice how the last E is in the shape of an anchor. Yeah, only that E specifically. That is because that's where the adventure ends, where they'll pull the anchor. And notice how the skull at the beginning is biting on the rope that is tied to the anchor. It's as if the Straw Hats were destined to reach the end. They were tied to it by fate. Okay, I just added it by fate. You know what I'm saying? The rope represents the whole story of One Piece. It is an adventure. Adventure and story is what connects people. And you see the way the rope is kind of circling around. I think every time it crosses the middle line, it's kind of like the different islands, the different places that they stop at. And I think that's why it's not just like a straight line. Millions of fans are reading One Piece weekly, and people from all over the world, from different religions, different beliefs, were all connected through One Piece. It is, as Roger said, Joy Boy left such an unbelievable treasure, such a funny story. So what I'm saying is that One Piece is the adventure and the story we've been told throughout the series. That whole One Piece manga is One Piece treasure? No, because Oda already actually said that he's not going to cop out by just saying it's the friends we met along the way or whatever. But similar to how Oda connected people from the real world, the same thing was done by Joy Boy through One Piece treasure. He connected people from different races, da 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 da. Okay, I don't really, what I'm saying. And sake, that Binks brew, was used as a symbol of the brotherhood. Okay, different kingdoms in what later became the ancient kingdom. And sake, okay, whatever. So what kind of story did Joy Boy tell? Well, to explain that, first let's look at chapter 1069. Devil fruits are basically desires of the creatures. Someone wished to become jacket, someone wanted to be slime, someone wanted to be a giraffe, and someone wanted to be Nika, to be free, to be Joy Boy, right? So who is Nika? Obviously we know that Joy Boy was a real character from the ancient times, but Nika is Nika is described by Vegapunk as a character from ancient scriptures. And what's even more interesting, Luffy's devil fruit isn't human ancient Zoan, but it's mythical or mythological. Nika is a myth, a legend. He never really existed. He was just a story told in ancient times, told by the slaves who didn't have the desired freedom that Nika brought. But it seems like he was a real person though, so I don't know. I I know he's a mythic zone, but somebody took the mythic zone and used it. So it was initially a myth until the last Joy Boy, because that hat is there. So I think it has to be real, right? Who knows if he really existed though? He didn't. He was just a myth. I think that this part already is wrong, because Joy Boy's hat is in is it Marijoa? No, is up in the sky with the gods and Emu and that. So we know that for a fact, and we knew this. I know this is a year old, but we knew this for a few years now. So what is One Piece? Have you guessed it by now? As I've said, it is a story. More specifically, it's a story about Nika, a laugh tale. One Piece is drums roll, a comic book. And Nika is a character from that said comic book. He was a god only in the comic book. In the dark times, then why did the government care so much about it? You know what I'm saying? In the dark times that Joy Boy lived, in the times of slavery, this comic book was his escape from reality. One light in these dark times. It brought him sense of freedom. He brought him laughter. Joy Boy wanted to be free more than anything else. He wanted to become Nika, a character from his favorite comic book, his treasure. He wanted to free people, to bring smiles to people's faces. The comic book, what was drove him to rebel against the 20 kingdoms that would later become the world government. This comic book and the story, the laughter brought him one light in the dark times he had to share with the others. It is true, this comic book, that everyone was connected, similar to how we, the real fans, are connected to One Piece manga and Joy Boy, alongside many others who desired freedom more than anything else, banded together and used sake to symbolize the brotherhood and family. And through advanced technology, Joy Boy was finally able to become the embodiment of freedom. He became Nika. He was able to bring laughter and freedom to other people with his powers that were so ridiculous, the powers that came straight out of a comic book. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay. It's just because it said he didn't. He was just a myth. This part was like confusing me, but he obviously became real. It's okay. So he cooking, or she cooking, they cooking. There was a reason why Gear 5 is so funny. There's a reason why it looks so cartoonish. There's a reason why it looks like it's straight out of a comic book, black and white. It is because it is. In 2019 and 2020 Jump Festa, Oda has said that he hopes he will not reveal too much in Oden's flashback, and he said that Wano will be heavily related to the One Piece treasure. And we get Oden's flashback, and we got Nika, which according to my theory is heavily related to the One Piece itself. Kozuka, Oden's adventure. Have you been enjoying them? I have to watch out for what is fine to reveal in these chapters while I'm drawing them. If I don't restrain myself, I might end up revealing every secret in the series. That said, while we're focusing on these flashbacks for now, the importance behind Luffy and the others' adventures and the meaning behind the fight so far will soon become clear to us. Luffy doesn't care much about that sort of stuff though, does he? So according to Oda, Wano arc is a story which is heavily related to the final chapter of One Piece. Nato says this flashback of Wano arc will handle the legendary adventure of Roger. Wano arc is the most important arc that will be related to the biggest secret about what is the One Piece as a treasure. The interviewer is shocked to hear those words and asks Naito if it would be okay to publish this interview on the internet. Naito replies that Oda already approved these words. But has he revealed the One Piece? As in, have we seen it? As a matter of fact, we have seen it. Take a look at this small part from a huge panel. You left behind such an unbelievable treasure. What a funny story. This is quite a treasure you've left behind. A tale full of laughs. Nothing unusual. What is this? Roger is holding something, a book, a comic book. He's holding a comic book and he says it's a tale of laughs. That my friend is the one remaining piece of Nika's comic book, Joy Boy's treasure. I've looked up this scene in anime and actually deleted him holding anything, even though he's obviously holding something here. Okay. Well, oh, Joy Boy, I wish I'd been born in your time. This is quite a treasure you left behind. Say that gives me an idea. We're the first people to reach this final island in 800 years. Why don't we give it a name? In the Void Century, 20 kingdoms, world government destroyed all of the comic books as they pose a threat of the future rebellions. Similar to how Nika's name was deleted and everything else about ancient kingdoms. But this single comic book survived. So, not to make the same mistake again, Ancient Kingdom created poneglyphs and told a story, and they hid the one remaining treasure on the final island of Laughtale, where someone in the future will find it. They felt that their message would be eradicated if left only on paper and books. There is a certain character that doesn't have a huge role in the story currently, but he will have a huge part in the final arc, and that character is none other than Big News Morgans, and we know that he's just a bird Zoan. So far in the story, he only dealt with bounty posters and news about the world through his newspapers. But what if he gets a hold of this comic book? I mean, he's already rooting for Luffy to become Pirate King, and he's certainly against the world government. What if he learns the truth about the world? And he is the one who copies this comic book millions of times and spreads it all over the world in a single day. Alongside the truth about the world in the void century, the world government would go insane. They would have to kill everyone who has read this newspaper, and the world would turn upside down, and the final war would begin. This would separate the world government soldiers into those who would obey every order and kill civilians without any questions for the greater good, and those who would protect civilians. This would cause the world government to divide into two, and you'd have world government civil war. What if Morgan's actually already knows the truth? If you didn't know, Morgan's ate a Zoan devil fruit, and he's constantly in his hybrid form. It's as if he's hiding his true identity. What if Morgan's was part of the Rogers crew? It would explain why he's against the world government and why he knows Luffy will become the Pirate King and why he's rooting for him. And just like every other member of Rogers' crew who had a role to guide Luffy, so does Morgan's. His role would be to inform the world about everything. Somebody else came up with that theory. That's actually a really good theory. The Morgan's one is actually, maybe I'll make a separate theory on just the Morgan's one as well. Not make a separate theory, but do a separate video talking about it, because that's really, really solid. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the theory. So basically, One Piece is a comic book. But obviously, there's gonna be treasures and other stuff there as well, as a part of it, because I think Oda basically said that it's definitely not just going to be a cop out. There's going to be treasure. There's going to be other stuff. But the main thing that matters is that comic of freedom. That comic basically representing Luffy in the future. Yeah, what you guys think? I really think it's a really, really solid theory. Just because I think that the One Piece is not going to be just one thing. It's going to be several things on that island. And Roger being the one to name the island, he obviously knew and understood, and he said he wishes that he could have been there to truly discover the One Piece treasure. And the One Piece treasure is actually Luffy himself. Luffy is the One Piece, but he has to reach there in order to make it a reality and become Joy Boy. I think that's kind of how it goes. But what you guys think? Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really enjoy this theory, and we're gonna try to do more theories, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.